Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Kizzic back again with another video. This is going to be a follow-up video to my last video that I posted. It's called Why You Don't Have a Girlfriend. And I'm just reading through some of the comments, and holy crap, man, it is absolutely insane. I just wanted to address some of the comments and just give some of my opinions on the comments and what you guys said in the last video. And I just wanted to go over it. Like Turbs89, my 73-year-old mother is more important than me to some dude's spoiled daughter. And in that situation, yeah, you'd want to prioritize family over, having a relationship is nice. It's good, because humans are naturally social creatures, and we want to try to fit in or get in with groups and stuff like that. That's why you have certain groups going through high schools and through middle schools and stuff like that. You've always had the cool kids, you've always had the nerds, and we've always segmented ourselves into certain groups and stuff like that in order to feel more comfortable, and our views kind of align with those different kinds of people. So that need for connectivity with another person can sometimes come at the detriment of your family, which is very important to understand. You got to have an equal balance of both, in my opinion. And I got to emphasize, this is just my opinion. Whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, that is up to your interpretation and how you believe and what your beliefs is and where you come from. But yeah, Turbs, if you're taking care of your 73-year-old grandmother, that is good for you, man. You know how to balance both taking care of someone that is important to you over someone that can possibly leave you at any moment or give you a divorce or anything like that. I'm not saying that a divorce is 100% certainty with any sort of relationship that you get into, but I'm also saying that there's an equal balance to these things. You can't, as soon as you get into a relationship, you can't abandon your family or the people or your friends that have always been there for you and always, stick together like that. So I just wanted to address that first, because that comment really, that really hit me. Another one was from Switzer Donald 678, I think it was. He said, the juice isn't worth squeezing. And yeah, sometimes it isn't, man. Sometimes, you put a lot of work into something, right? And I had a guy that I met at a bar one night, and he spent $300 on this one girl. He spent $300 on her, right? And he was just trying to be nice and get in with her, right? And even after $300, she still turned him down. She wasn't like a 10 or like a 9 or even like an 8 or a 7. She was more like a 5 or 4.5 or something like that. It wasn't really that much worth it, to be honest. But yeah, Hyundai says it's 2025. Just wants something out of you, or it's 2025. Everyone just wants something out of you, and I refuse to feed the weak-minded. This year alone, I have legitimately made me asexual. Now, I didn't know what asexual was. I had to Google it. Okay, I had to legit Google this to figure it out. And and asexual, for the people who don't know what asexual means, much like myself. On Google, it says that you're not attracted to either gender. You're neither attracted to men or you're neither attracted to women. And I don't blame you for having that kind of mindset. Now, the dating world, like I probably said in my last video, is that, a lot of things have changed, and you shouldn't better yourself just to be better for another person. You should better yourself for yourself. So it's whatever helps you be the better person at the end of the day that really matters, So I always believe that you should do something good because it's good, not for what you get out of it. And I think that's a very important thing that not a lot of people get nowadays. Secret and Nightmare says, I know why. I'm a recovering heroin addict, which is a terrible thing to go through. I've had a few friends that are trying to recover from, like crack and heroin and all these things, and just watching them, it's like, it's probably the worst thing to ever be in. And to be able to recover from something like that requires an immense amount of willpower and strength. So kudos to you, man. Like, trying to recover from something like that it's rough. But they strongly recommend you don't get into a relationship until you're far enough along, which is 100% reasonable. Whoever they are, I don't know who they are, but they are making a good point. If you get into a relationship, or you're open to getting into a relationship, you should be able to first take care of yourself before being able to take care of another person, or let alone getting that individual pregnant and then having a child and not being prepared for that child. Because a lot of people say it's like, oh, you know, we just had a kid and it just so happened to happen. And I'm sitting there like, come on. You didn't wear protection. You know what was going to happen. You know, you knew what you were doing. So you can't say, oh, I surprisingly had a kid. You made the choice to have a kid by not wearing protection. It's a simple thing. It's the same thing as if, like, I'm handling a firearm and I don't have the safety on and I shoot someone. That means that I legitimately shot someone because of my recklessness, okay? It does not mean I didn't shoot them. I still shot somebody, okay? If you shoot somebody, you shoot somebody. It's pretty simple. A lot of people don't really get that nowadays. They're like, oh, I had a surprise kid. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. And good old Joe Biden here. My man Joe. I love Joe. Joe's so good. I love him. I love Joe. Maybe I'm in the closet. Damn, am I gay, bro? Joe Biden. Well, for referring to Joe Biden himself, I don't think he is the gay. But if you're speaking about yourself, it's whatever you prefer, man. You know, if you prefer men, that's cool. You know, I am not against people getting together with the same sex as long as it doesn't bother anyone else, you know? Like, you keep your sexual desires and personal beliefs and stuff like that, you know, to yourself, unless it's like an appropriate situation. Like if everyone's talking about cats and you really have a very high level, you love the shit out of cats, then okay, well then you can bring up that personal belief in that moment of time. It's appropriate for the situation that you're in, and just don't bring up random stuff, like the most randomest of times. It's the weirdest thing. So David Young 9NB. I'm terrible with the names. I am so sorry. I just finished my pipe fitting exam and I'm just checking this now. I like my piece. I just pump and dump. Relationships are just too much. And what was the reply on that? Damn, I wish I could do that, but it's not an option for me until I hit the gym and get money. Yeah, you know, a lot of women nowadays and men. I'm just gonna be straight up. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of men and women both have commitment issues. And you know the type of guys that I'm talking about, okay? The guys that are like 6'2", 6'5", ripped as hell. They got like 4 girls hanging off of them, man. And these 4 girls are just in a competition to go after this one guy, you know? And they look around and they're like, man, there's no more good men anymore. You know? It's like me saying, to use a perfect analogy for this kind of situation is, like, I'm looking at a bunch of cars, and ever since I go to, like I say, like a Dodge dealership or a Ford dealership, and I look around, I'm like, man, there's no good cars anymore. There's no more good cars. They're not Bentleys. You know, they're not Ferraris. They're all terrible, terrible cars. I hate all these cars. I can't buy a good car anywhere. When in the end, what they don't realize is you don't need a Bentley or a Mercedes or some ridiculous car that's super expensive, right? You just need something that's reliable, that'll always be there for you, and that'll listen to you when you talk. My car, I got a Chevy Cruze 2018 hatchback. You know, I love that car. Getting tires for it is a bit of a pain, but just like a relationship, sometimes things are a little rough, and you just got to move forward with it. So, and like Angel commented, replied to him and saying, like, yeah, damn, I wish I was able to do that. And yeah, a lot of guys, much like myself, I could probably relate this more than anyone else, is that the opposite sex, or even the same sex, sometimes doesn't even consider you to be an option, like at all. They just kind of see you as, say, like a tree or something. You're there, but you're not really worth much notice, which I think nowadays, like, women and stuff like that, like I said in my video, are more into feeling, and they feel like they should have the house and all this other kind of stuff, and it's really, I think our dating society and dating as a whole has really just gone downhill, man. Like, all of this is unscripted, by the way. This is just me saying what I think. I think things have really gone downhill. And with society, I sound like the Joker when I say society, but what I'm trying to say is that the world nowadays is so interconnected, and I think dating apps and all this mobile type stuff is really polluted us. It's given us too much quantity, okay? And quantity, usually a lot of people say that, oh, having a lot of something is a good thing. Well, no, not really. And I'm not... Okay, let me explain myself when I say that quantity is not a good thing. When I say quantity is not a good thing, I'm going to use another analogy here because, boy, I love my analogies. When you're, say, getting something to eat, right? You're given a steak, you're given a chicken, and then you're given some ribs, and then you're given some fries and some potatoes, and you eat like the steak and then the ribs and then the potatoes, and you eat the steak and the ribs and the potatoes, and you're just going through it. You're just eating every single plate that you can possibly get your hands on. And then say if someone comes up to you, the person serving the food, and they ask you, they're like, "Hey, how did the steak taste?" And at that point, I'm pretty sure most people are probably going to say, they're like, well, I don't know, because I didn't really get to digest it. So, and that's the thing. We're not digesting our relationships anymore. We're not digesting our first meetings because of the quantity. There's so many. Like, girls can go through, like, I think on like Tinder or like Bumble or anything like that, all these dating online apps and stuff like that, and websites and Grindr and all this other kind of stuff. They just go through so many options, Like, there is a quantity of men, but there's a scarcity on women. So when the ladies get to choose a partner, they really, really get to choose. And most of the time, they are going to choose the guy that's 6'5", built like an army tank, looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Jason Momoa or something crazy like that. And the thing is, all these women, they just compete for the same dude. And they completely don't see guys as, like I said before, like they see us as trees. They just see us as trees. And when I'm saying all this, it makes it sound like I really, really don't like women. I don't. I really, really, really don't hate women. I don't hate them. I really don't. And I have to keep clarifying this just in case this is like the first video that anyone ever sees. I don't hate women. I just think we need to come at it with a different approach. I think both sides need to really understand where the other side's coming from. And most of the time, we're not having anything constructive, like any constructive arguments, right? Like 90% of the time, it's like, oh, all these girls are picky and they don't pay attention to me. I'm the man. These girls are just useless, yada, yada. They only care about money and blah, 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 which some of them do. I can't deny that. But then you also have women on the opposite side. It's like, oh, I just want a man who's going to pay for everything for me. I just want a man who does this. I want a man who does that. And if he doesn't do this or that or meet 100% of my expectations, he's not worth my time. I'm going to treat him like a tree. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like cats and dogs. We're just all fighting each other all the time. And nothing constructive ever happens. Okay? Trust me. I've been in this situation where the ladies, they think I'm a creep. They think I'm weird. They think I'm strange. It's like, oh, I want a guy with personality, but not too much personality, It's like if a dude digs Legos or anything like childish, you're seen as immature. If you're into video games or like Warhammer 40K like I am, you're seen as a goof. I don't understand. If a man's hobbies doesn't automatically line up with a girl's hobbies, most girls won't spend their time trying to understand where the guy's coming from and why he loves these things. But then a guy will go out of his way if a girl really loves, like, say, like guitar. She loves guitar. She loves the guitar. She loves the guys who plays the guitar. A guy will dedicate months probably even years to doing and understanding her in particular interest just to try to get with her. But when a girl tries to get with a guy, she automatically assumes that, like, he should have the same interests that I have. And if he has any interests, it's not really worth my time learning. I think he should learn what I like instead of the other way around. Which most people would call that a double standard. But I'm not saying it's a double standard. Okay. Neither am I implying that it's a double standard. I'm just mentioning it. Okay. You know, I'm trying to play both sides here. You know, I know a lot of dudes right now are struggling. God, I know. Trust me. I know. It is brutal. And the scariest thing about approaching like girls, for example, I'm just using because I'm a guy. If you couldn't tell, I'm a guy, okay? I ain't no girly boy. I ain't no tomboy or something like that they call it. When it comes to approaching girls and stuff like that, the first thing is like, it's terrifying for dudes. It legitimately is. Because if you say the wrong thing, man, you are going to jail. You're done. You're going to prison. You're going to hang out with LaQuise in the showers or something. And that's how that's going to go. It's going to be fun time in the sunshine, in the shower. It's going to be great. God. I don't get why things in relationships, I've always heard relationships are complicated, and God forbid, I haven't even been in one. The few relationships I ever had, the longest relationship I ever had was 4 weeks. 4 weeks! And then she got bored and left, and she was cheating on me the entire time. That really hurt my feelings. But then when I dumped her, I realized, man, I really dodged a bullet, you know? It's like, I dodged a bullet, man. It was a terrible situation. If anyone wants to hear about my silly, like, ex stories and stuff like that, go ahead, put it in the comments, okay? Just let me know. I will tell you. Because some of these girls, man, I keep running into, like, crackheads and criminals and all this other kind of stuff. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So, but to validate the points of you guys in the comments, thank you for putting the comments in the first place. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for all the stuff. I hope you guys are doing better. I hope your 73-year-old grandmother is in health, in good health. And I hope all of you guys are just taking one day, one step at a time, bro. And girls. Or maybe it could be a guy or a girl, who knows. All right, that's enough from me. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.